How can you keep your children healthy on your next trip to India? In this video, I'll walk you through 7 key health tips every parent should know before heading to India to visit friends and family. Hi everyone, I'm Lavanya Sathananam, a board-certified pediatrician and travel medicine specialist based in Maryland. You're watching the Park Pediatrics and Park Travel Clinic channel. If you want to stay in the loop with the latest expert pediatric and travel medicine information, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe button below. So let's get started. I just want you to know that the topic of traveling to India is close to my heart, as I grew up in the US but spent many fun and safe summers in India with cousins. Each time, me and my sister had an absolute blast, stuffing our faces with dosas, going shopping with cousins, and binging on the latest Hollywood movies. But there was one summer where our father, a pediatrician himself, spent so much time ensuring our safety that he forgot to do the same for himself, and he didn't take his anti-malarial medicine. Well, he ended up spending 1/3 of his vacation in the hospital at his old medical school, Jitmer, in Pondicherry, India. He was admitted with malaria. Fortunately, he did fine and he was released after a week there. But I tell you this story so you can realize, like many parents, you will do everything for your children and their safety. But please take some time to make sure you also follow the below precautions as well. Your time abroad has changed your body, making you more susceptible to endemic diseases in India. Also, your children have grown up outside of India, so their bodies are much more naive to the native conditions there. Also, the fact that you're visiting friends and relatives and possibly staying with family may expose you to more localized infections. So let's start with tip number 1. Before traveling, you're going to want to schedule a visit with your pediatrician or a travel medicine specialist at least 4 to 6 weeks in advance of your trip. This visit is crucial for a number of things. 1, ensuring routine vaccinations such as measles, hepatitis A, polio, tetanus are up to date, since some of these infections may be more common in India. 2, getting country-specific vaccines like typhoid, rabies, and possibly Japanese encephalitis, depending on your specific itinerary, health conditions, trip length, and age of travelers. It's hard to imagine, but India actually has one of the highest incidents of typhoid and rabies in the world. 3, discussing mosquito bite and travelers' diarrhea prevention. Depending on where in India you're visiting, you'll most likely need to get a prescription for anti-malarial medication and possibly an antibiotic for diarrhea. Also, please make sure to take a copy of your child's immunization record to take with you to this appointment and for your travels. Tip number 2, pack a travel kit. A small, well-organized travel health kit can save the day. Essentials to include fever and pain medicines like acetaminophen or ibuprofen, oral rehydration powders, antihistamines for allergies, hydrocortisone for itchy rashes, antiseptic wipes and hand sanitizer, bandages and antibiotic ointment, and a thermometer. Also, pack any prescription medications in original containers with extra doses in case of delays. Tip number 3, practice safe food and water precautions. One of the most common causes of illness during travel is diarrhea from contaminated food or water. Typhoid and hepatitis A are 2 infections that can be transmitted this way. To minimize your risk, stick to bottled water with an unbroken seal for drinking and brushing teeth. Avoid ice, as it may be made from tap water. Eat only freshly cooked hot food. Avoid raw vegetables and unpeeled fruits from restaurants or street vendors. Be cautious with dairy products unless they're pasteurized and refrigerated. Hand hygiene is also key. Encourage kids to use hand sanitizer before eating if soap and water aren't available. If possible, eating at home with a known cook is safer than eating out, but there are a few tricks to make it safe when eating out. So I recently returned from the 19th International Society of Travel Medicine conference, where one of the godfathers of tropical medicine and travel medicine, Dr. Charles Erickson, spoke and mentioned on his trips abroad, especially to India and Nepal, he always takes a thermometer with him. If he eats out at a restaurant, he goes for well-established ones with good reputations and insists on piping hot food, which should be at 59 degrees Celsius or 139 degrees Fahrenheit in order to kill off the bacteria. If it's not hot enough, he asks them to actually stick the food in the microwave to get it to that temperature. Of course, for your children, you'll still want very hot food, but wait for it to cool down before letting them ingest it. Tip number 4, avoid mosquito bites. Mosquitoes in India can carry illnesses like dengue, malaria, and chikungunya, with some areas even experiencing outbreaks. Because of this, I recommend using multiple strategies to avoid mosquito bites. Use insect repellents containing DEET. My favorite brand is Ultrathan. Make sure to apply only on areas not covered by clothing and wash it off before your baby sleeps. The percentage is not as important as following the directions on how often to reapply. Buying Picardin-soaked clothing, which usually lasts 60 wash cycles. Dressing children in light-colored long sleeves and pants, especially in the evening when dengue and chikungunya mosquitoes are more prevalent. Sleeping in air-conditioned rooms or using bed nets if needed. Staying in accommodations with screened windows and doors. You may also be prescribed malaria prevention medications depending on the areas you're visiting. For children, weekly mefloquine, also known as Lariam, is a great option. Check with your doctor to make sure you and your children qualify for this medication, since there are a few contraindications. Also, make sure you take the medication for the specified time before, during, and after the trip. No medication is 100% effective, so using a combination of the mosquito bite prevention tactics is key. Tip 5, don't forget about sun and heat protection. As we all know, India can get extremely hot, especially in the summer. You don't want your kids to experience sunburn or heat exhaustion. So apply broad spectrum sunscreen every 2 hours. Have kids wear hats, sunglasses, and lightweight breathable clothing. Encourage frequent water breaks, even if they're not thirsty. Avoid strenuous activities during peak midday heat. Dehydration can happen quickly, so always have safe fluids on hand. Tip number 6, travel safely within India. Traffic in India can be hectic and unpredictable. For safety, I recommend using a car seat or booster for young children when traveling by car. Avoid riding in scooters, motorcycles, or rickshaws with children. Choose reliable transportation with seat belts whenever possible. And always supervise kids in crowded areas and consider using ID bracelets with your contact information. Keep a close eye on them at airports, markets, and train stations, since crowds can be overwhelming. Tip number 7, know where to get medical help. Before you go, research nearby hospitals or pediatric clinics at your destinations. Save local emergency numbers and keep travel insurance documents handy, and consider purchasing travel health insurance that covers overseas medical care and evacuation if needed. Also, I recommend that after you return home, remind your child's pediatrician about your recent trip. That way they can check for any tuberculosis exposures a few months later. In conclusion, with the right preparation, traveling to India with children can be an unforgettable and enriching experience for all. Follow these tips to stay safe and focus on making amazing family memories. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks again.